The second option we want to bring up to you guys, it's what we call the AEGD residency, the Advanced Education in General Dentistry residency. So this is basically a postgraduate program that, can last from 1 to 2 years, and it covers basically advanced dentistry. So you're doing more complex, procedures compared to dental school, and it creates a bunch of other options, learning opportunities that can definitely benefit you in a general, advancing your career, perspective. I'll let Dr. Furcado talk a little bit more about that, why that's one of the options that is, for me, at least for me, it was the most attractive one, the one that I pursue my revalidation through. So I just want Dr. Furtado to go and say a little bit more about why that's a good, attractive option.
So the AEGDs, as opposed to the first option, it's a residency. So you're at an advanced degree. You don't get a DDS or a DMD that gives you the freedom to do the licensing exam everywhere. It gets you a certificate. And some of the states will allow you to write their state licensing exam and allow you to practice there. The advantage, I think the great attraction of this program is this. It's a short term program, it's 1 to 2 years. There is a state that allows you to write their licensing exam after you do 1 year of AEGD. And some of the programs will actually pay you as a resident to go through the program instead of having a tuition that you pay. And even when you have a tuition to pay, that tuition is only a fraction of what the first option is. So while you're talking about hundreds of thousands on the advanced standing option, you're talking about less than 100 per year on the advanced education in general dentistry, the AEGD program. So it's very desirable. You're at an advanced degree, you're already a dentist. So if you want to further your education, it's a good option because you're having a specialist you're being instructed by a specialist throughout the program. So you're getting more advanced procedures done. And in some options, some states and some schools, you're going to be paid to do that. In other schools, you're going to pay less to do that. And there's a state in the United States, like Christian said, the United States are a combination of different countries. There's a state in the country that allows you to write their licensing exam in 1 year. So that's when we talk about knowing, having information, this is where it comes to play an important role. If you know this and you're free in terms of mobility, you may choose AEGD, and then after 1 year and a half, you're allowed to practice as a dentist in the U.S.
That's right. And for me, I mean, you're completely right, Michelle, when you talked about, knowing the rules of the game, because that was the point in my life that I said, you know what, even though I'm coming from a third world country where, me or my parents couldn't afford a tuition, I was like, okay, so this is possible for me. This is something that, possibly I can achieve my dream of, becoming a dentist in the U.S. And from my perspective, my own experience, I went to school for 2 years for the AEGD residency. I was learning a lot of things that really became a dentist in the true world. That's, how the first time that I really felt that I was prepared, to be a dentist. Yeah. And I was not paying any tuition. Plus, I was making almost $40,000 a year to study and to get my license in the U.S. So that was the time that I only found about that, when I actually moved to the U.S. I'm like, wow, that's a great option, because I'm not going to have to pay anything. I'm going to make money. I mean, I actually made a good living when I was there, $40,000. I was living with my wife, was able to support ourselves, pretty well. And that was a decisive point for me. So it's a great option. We have a lot of information to share with you guys about this specific option, including the list of the programs that will pay you, the list of the programs that will not charge tuition, and how you can accomplish a full application process, plus, how to take your exams and all of that for that program to happen. Keep in mind that a lot of our students already are applying for those programs. Some of them don't even have the national boards yet.
Yeah.
So some of them have only taken the TOEFL exam, and they're eligible to apply for those residencies. Myself, I only had my TOEFL exam when I applied to that residency, but I still was able to, become an attractive candidate for that program. And I did all my board student residency. So just, keep in mind, everything, we have to break the whole stereotype of having to have all the exams ready, the TOEFL exam, national boards 1, national boards 2. I mean, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you only need a TOEFL exam, which you can schedule within 2 weeks, you know. So just keep in mind, this is possible. You might not need money. You will make money. You're not going to need to do the boards for some of those, you know, programs that take foreign trained dentists.
It's very important to know that there is some flexibility in the rules. So yeah, you can use that to your advantage. And that's where I always say there's two major things in what we're doing. One is to have a graduation, a culture change when you think about the United States in many aspects, and we'll talk about that in other videos. So your culture compass has to be calibrated because it's a different world altogether. Two is know the rule of the game first. It's not only about studying and getting the exams done. It's about knowing the rules first, doing what needs to be done. So being able and willing to put on the hard work, and everything will follow.